Jai Guruji.
Jai Guruji. Namaste Guruji. Happy Sunday to everybody. So yesterday we left it off at this part where Guruji was explaining to Sukhmani Aunty कि कैसे गुरुओं की मौज होती है, and उस मौज में जो गुरुजी से ले गया वो ले गया. उसके बाद पता नहीं वो मौज 5 साल में आए या 50 साल में आए. That's up to Guruji. तो इसके ऊपर एक मुझे सत्संग याद आया, and maybe we'll start us off with that. So एक बारी Guruji randomly told my mom कि गुरुओं की मौज है, मंगले की मंगना है. Randomly बैठे हुए थे. So my mom was caught unawares because she wasn't expecting to hear this. But she says that, I don't know, some sense prevailed upon me that I simply said कि Guruji अपने चरणों में रखना. That's it. And Guruji smiled and he said, "Tu sabda kalyan kara gayi hai." And there was a reference of pandits and how Guruji always discouraged in the previous chapter. So एक और सत्संग came to mind जो मैं कल share करना भूल गई थी was and I'll tell you in short कि काफी साल पहले की बात है, and I started to get random nightmares about Amira's well-being. And Amira's dad also started to get those dreams in parallel. तो मुझे बुरा सपना आता था Amira को लेकर, and Amira's dad also started to get the same type of nightmares. So पहले एक दो बारी तो I did not communicate with him because मुझे लगता था कि by bringing a bad thought, I am sort of refueling that fear. So that thought came, आया गया हो गया. So I think the first time he got it, he shared his feeling, and that that's when I said that I'm getting similar feelings about Amira. And so because he was disturbed and marta kya na karta, he had a conversation with his mom, and Amira's dadi, out of concern for Amira, went to a pandit. And the pandit said, the kid is too young, मैं इसकी पत्री नहीं देख सकता. So she explained the situation कि नहीं ऐसे exception scenario है. So आप एक बार देख लो. And when he saw the patri, he said कि हाँ इसके ऊपर I don't know, some Kal Sarp Yog or whatever he said. Basically, in short, कि काफी bad समय आया हुआ है, and till she turns, I think 8 or 11 or something like that, ये ग्रह इसके ऐसे बुरे हैं, and अगर बच्चे को बचाकर रखना है तो उसको आप एक particular stone उन्होंने prescribe किया होगा, आप ये पहना दो, ये मुंदरी फटाफट पहना दो. I think ruby. He said ruby. So out of her concern, फटाफट उन्होंने ruby की अंगूठी वगैरह या I think गले में stone बनाकर ready कर दिया. Now I was, because of what I knew Guruji's stance on this, so I very gently said that नहीं, मैं उसको कोई मुंदरी वगैरह नहीं पहनाने वाली. ठीक है, हम rings वगैरह पहनते हैं fashion के लिए, but not कि किसी पंडित ने तुम्हें बोला कि तुम्हारे ग्रह अच्छे हो जाएंगे, because I never wanted कि पंडित का उपाय should ever interfere with my guru's blessings. And my guru's blessings are bigger than anything and everyone. So she said कि obviously जब fear होता है, then we respond differently. And she said कि हर्ष क्या है, पंडित ने इतना ठीक तो बताया है तो कर लो. And now I was in a tough situation क्योंकि घर में बड़े कुछ कह रहे हैं, you don't want to be disrespectful. And I just looked at Guruji. I was like, Guruji, we get on mic and हम लोगों को सिखाते हैं, हम preach करते हैं कि नहीं जी आपने जो अंगूठियां पहनी है, मुंदरियां पहनी वो निकाल दो, और खुद मैं अपने बच्चे को कैसे पहना दूं? So I just told Amira's dad that ये अगर रूबी पहनेगी तो खाली गुरुजी का रेड स्वरूप पहनेगी. She's not going to wear any other ruby, and that is going to be her shield, her protection. So I still remember it was a Saturday night, and I opened the drawer. I went into my stash. I pulled out a pendant randomly, and it was a pendant of Guruji in red chola. It could have been yellow, it could have been green, it could have been anything, right? Lal chole wala pendant nikla. And then I wanted कि वो red धागे में, मतलब instead of black thread, वो धागा भी red color का पहने. So I didn't have a red thread, and Molly, मेरे को मिली. मैंने Molly drawer से निकाली और Molly में उसको बांध दिया. Next day, fast forward, it was a Sunday, there was a satsang in the mandir. An uncle from India was sharing his satsang, and he shares this satsang about a girl who got red thread from Guruji, and he's like, मैं काफी सारे लाल धागे लेकर आया हूँ, तो आप लोग संगत में बांट देना. And Guruji made sure that not just Amira, she got a red pendant, she also got the red thread. And sure enough, Guruji has been her red ruby, her protection, her dhal ever since. And that's why always remember, Sangatji, that your Guru's blessings are bigger than what any Pandit or Tantric can ever tell you or do for you. In fact, don't get into all these things, because then you are starting to interfere with your Guru's blessings. So with that, we will continue reading for today. The chapter is called Langar. Langar chalai gur sabad har tot na abi khatiye, which means the dining hall of Guruji's word is open. Its supplies never runs short. Langar is the divine food served at religious places, something like a community meal. Langar at Guruji's temple was given a lot of importance, as we all know and understand that, and no one was allowed to go without eating it. The meals served at Guruji's temple were so simple yet so delicious that everyone who tasted it could not stop raving about it. His blessings made the difference between the food served at his temple and the food cooked at home. That is so true. इतना रस होता था गुरुजी के लंगर में कि अगर मिर्ची से भी जान निकल रही हो ना, बिकॉज एक गुरुजी के टाइम पे एक बड़ी स्पेशल चटनी मिलती थी, that thickly ground chutney, and lot of items used to be repeated. जैसे आजकल हम लंगर में we look for variety and we look के उसको और कैसे grand बनाएं. गुरुजी के टाइम पे the focus was on simplicity, कि अगर गट्टे खा रहे हो तो अगले 2 दिन में फिर से गट्टे खाओगे, या राजमा खाओगे तो हर दूसरे तीसरे दिन राजमा खाओगे. लेकिन इतना रस उस लंगर में कि वो टेस्ट, वो स्वाद, we still think about that. Guruji insisted on making people sit together in small groups and eat out of the same thali, which is a big plate. This was a sign of equality. Every individual who came to Guruji was treated equal, whether he was an officer or a villager. That is right. No one was ever divided according to religion, caste, or creed. In Jalandhar, where the Sangat was less, Guruji would himself make small groups during Langar time, and he only decided who would sit where. Guruji would then serve chapatis himself. Some of us would get 3 to 4 chapatis, and we would eat them all and still not feel any discomfort. I remember a day in Jalandhar when one of the Guruji's disciples distributing langar told Guruji that the dal, lentil, may fall short as there were a lot of people that day. Guruji very calmly ordered the disciple to cover the utensil containing the dal with a cloth. दाल दे डोंगे ते कपड़ा पा देओ और पाई चलो, कपड़ा चुप के देखना मत, दाल सबनु पूरी हो जाओगी. Meaning, cover the dal utensil with a cloth and don't lift the cloth to see. Continue serving from it and it will be enough for all. Sure enough, the dal was served to all and did not finish. और ऐसे ही गुरुजी बरकत डालते थे. A lady visited Guruji's temple for the first time. She had an ailment that Guruji pointed out and she agreed. Yes, Guruji, I have been suffering from it for a long time. Langar kha ke ja, meaning have langar and then go, Guruji ordered her. During langar, Guruji gave her 3 chapatis to eat. She ate 2 and kept the 3rd in her purse, thinking she would go home and eat it since she was already feeling quite full and had to travel. The next time she visited Guruji, Guruji asked her, "Ki haal hai, auntie? Bimari dur hui ki nahi?" Meaning, how are you feeling now? Has your problem disappeared? Guruji, I am much better, but still about 20% of it left. She replied, ਉਹੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਰੋਟੀ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦੇ ਪਰਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਲੈ ਗਈ ਸੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲਣਾ ਹੈ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਕੁਝ ਖਾਣ ਨੂੰ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਮੰਦਿਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਖਾਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ ਦਵਾਈ ਤੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਮਿਠਾਈ This is because you smuggled a chapati out of my temple thinking you will eat it later and Guruji will not come to know. When I give you something to eat, it is to be consumed in the temple itself. Once it goes out, it's ordinary food. So again, this is the significance of langar. And kaise Guruji would bring everybody together because some temples you see, even in Shirdi, aadmiyon ka section alag, auraton ka section alag. Same at Akshardham. And Guruji was so different from the rest and he would bring everybody together regardless of your background, your gender, your economic strata. Everybody comes together to sit and eat at his lotus feet. That's how beautiful it was. The langar served at Guruji's temple was blessed and charged by his powers. It was blessed that many people got cured just by eating langar. The langar was always vegetarian and made by those who Guruji instructed. Many times, spicy chutney, there you go, would be served along with the langar and Guruji would announce that people suffering from ulcers must eat that chutney as it would cure them. During the initial days, when we met Guruji, spoons were not allowed and the curries were to be finished with the chapatis. Many times, I would get a spoon and each time Guruji would catch me by hand and take me back to my plate. Spoons not allowed, he would say, and smile at our incompetence. If you had curry left on your plate, you had to eat another chapati. It was as simple as that. In Chandigarh, thankfully, the spoon finally showed its presence. In Delhi, Guruji started giving us langar seva. Each time we went to Delhi, he would say, Chal Sannyasi Mandir Mein, which meant we were to partake in the making of the langar. My sister, mother, and I would reach the Chhatarpur temple in the morning where langar was being prepared for the night. The preparation of langar was an enjoyable experience and we all thank Guruji for considering us worthy enough to prepare langar for his Sangha. I had heard that each chapati that was made in langar had an Om or Ik Omkar or a swastik sign on it but had never believed it. One day, I sat down to make a few chapatis and saw that each chapati had a sign. I picked up the chapatis at random and could not find even one that did not have those signs. One day, a lady requested Guruji to allow her to make langar, to which he said, Aunty, tenu halle 25 saal hor lagange mera langar vich kaam karan nu. Har koi mere langar vich kaam nahi kar sakta. It will take you another 25 years to be ready to take on the seva. Not all are allowed to prepare langar. Since we used to prepare langar, we were aware of the amount of chapatis made and could roughly guess the number of sangat that had visited Guruji on that particular day. One day after langar was served, Guruji sat down next to me and said that a certain number of people had visited the temple to eat langar. The number was much higher than the chapatis we had made that day, and my mind made some foolish calculations. That's not possible, Guruji. We didn't have that many chapatis. The moment I uttered these words, I realized I made a mistake of doubting my Guru. I quickly apologized and kept quiet. Tanu ki lagda hai, sirf tusi hi ithe aakar langar kha ke jande ho? Tanu ki pata tuade naal kaun langar kha ke janda hai? Tusi log ta langar di कीमत ही नहीं जानते हो. उत्ते ता ऋषि मुनि तरसते हाँ लंगर दा एक निवाला खान वास्ते. मेरे हुक्म दे नाल ओ भी लंगर छक के जांदे हैं. जदों मैं कहंदा हां कि इन्ने लोग ने लंगर छकिया, उस दे विच उना ने भी गिनती करके आंदा हां. What do you know? You think it's just you people who come and eat langar here? You don't know who all come and eat langar with you. You people don't know the value of langar. whereas rishis and sadhus in the astral world feel blessed to come and eat his langar. When I say so many people ate langar today, I count them in as well. And this is true because twice I've been privy to this conversation. I think one time when Guruji asked about how many people came and attended the first Gurgaon annual satsang that happened when Guruji was in his chola. And then second time, I've heard another auntie share this about the satsang she did in her house while Guruji was present. And both times he asked that how many people came and a number was given, and Guruji quickly corrected them that no, it was not these many people, but X number. And the organizers were baffled that itna to langar hi nahi tha, and he gave the exact same explanation. So our Guru knows what we can never even imagine. Jahan, in fact, हमारी imagination खत्म होती है, शायद गुरु की सोच वहां से शुरू होती होगी. Many times after that day, Guruji would smile at me and quietly tell me the number of people for langar on that particular day, and I never indulged in calculations again. Not that I was good at them to begin with, and I will never doubt my Guru again. And this is the reason, I'm going to interject again, Sangatji. This is the reason why we normally never try to seek an RSVP for Guruji's satsang, because we do believe that it is Guruji's darbar. It is up to Guruji how many people he is going to send. So there is no point in trying to calculate कि कितने लोग आ रहे हैं, कितने नहीं आ रहे. It's not a party. लंगर में बरकत डालने का जिम्मा गुरुजी का. अगर कम हो जाए प्रसाद मोड में चले जाओ, और अगर नहीं कम हो, then it's great. But have faith that if you're doing your Guru's satsang, your Guru is going to preside over that. Regarding preparations of food at home, Guruji always insisted that the wife must cook food with her own hands. औरत नू अपने हाथ नाल घर विच खाना बनाना चाहिए. Oh my God. Guruji would always eat his food after feeding his Sangat. Not only his Sangat, he made sure to feed all the drivers and people at the gate before he sat down to eat. No one ever returned without being fed. Moving on to the next chapter, it's called telepathy. To define it simply, it is a direct communication between minds. It means transmitting some information from one person to another without actually involving our senses or without any physical contact. After having Guruji's darshans for the first time, I felt as if I finally come home and so didn't want to leave. I'm sure a lot of you will relate with this feeling. Sensing my hesitation to leave, he said, "Fikar na kar, main tere naal telepathy karanga." Don't worry, I'll be in touch with you through telepathy. Being a student of psychology, I knew what telepathy was, but had never experienced it. That night, when I went home and slept, I had my first telepathy with Guruji. Next morning, we decided to ask Guruji about it. As soon as we entered Guruji's temple, Guruji asked, "Kyun fir dekhe nazare? Main tere kol 3 wari aaya si." So, did you see what all I showed you? Last night, I came to you thrice. Guruji, those dreams? I could just say this much when he interrupted me. Sankaji, this is very important. Dreams na ke, or dreams nahi ha. मैं तेरे नाल telepathy दे through गल कीती है. जदों भी मैं दिखता हाँ, वो मेरे दर्शन होंदे हाँ. मेरा ड्रीम कोई नहीं ले सकता. मेरा ड्रीम लेकर तो दिखा. This is so true. Guruji said, those were not dreams. Don't call them dreams. I came and spoke to you through telepathy. No one can dream of me. It is only when I choose to appear to you will you be able to see me. That is 100% correct, Sangatji. हमारी औकात ही नहीं है कि हम गुरुजी का सपना ले सके. And you and I can be spending our entire day and night talking about Guruji. वो हम कहते हैं ना कि वो usually सपना उसका आता है जो चीज हमारे mind पे हो. That's absolutely flawed thinking when it comes to Guruji. Because जब तक गुरुजी की मर्जी नहीं होगी, गुरुजी अपने दर्शन देते ही नहीं हैं. And I am sure all of you can relate to what I'm saying, because all we do is talk about Guruji. Doesn't mean that every night we see Guruji. कभी कभी मुद्दतों बाद गुरुजी सपने में आते हैं, and that is not a sapna, that is his darshan. He's actually come to you. Many times Guruji warns people through telepathy about an incident about to happen. My mother had a telepathy where Guruji tells her to carry her driving license with her or she will get caught in the lights of Sector 22. In the evening, she forgot about it, and sure enough, at that very point, she was pulled over and she didn't have her license. I'm the one who enjoys listening to music before going to sleep. One night, my Walkman just refused to work and would stop after every 2 to 3 minutes without any apparent reason. Finally, I gave up trying and decided to sleep. That night, Guruji scolded me. मैं तेरे नाल telepathy करन वास्ते wait कर रहा हां ते तू ए 3 तबार सुनन तो हटती नहीं. I have been waiting to do telepathy with you and you just don't stop listening to this nonsense you call pop music. In another incident, Saraswati and I were watching TV and I just happened to comment in a light mood that if I had a better figure, I would love to wear such skimpy clothes. I meant it as a joke and completely forgot about it till the night Guruji came and scolded me. Kamliye, e chote kapadea vich kuch nahi rakhya. Tu suit vich soni lagdi hai, suit hi paya kar. Foolish girl, there is nothing in these small clothes. You look nice in suits, continue to wear suits only. The next time I went to Delhi and Guruji was doing a satsang where he is telling someone, Dilli waliyan nu pata hi nahi Mahapurush nu kive milan ana chaida. Kudiyan chote chote kapde aur penta pa kar aa jandiyan haan. Mahapurush nu milan aan lai suit pa ke aana chaida. मैं भी कृपा सूट वालियां ते ज़्यादा करता हाँ. People in Delhi don't know how to dress before a Mahapurush. Girls wear small clothes and pants to the temple. They don't know that to meet a Mahapurush, you must be decently dressed in salwar kameez, which is a suit. I bless those in suits more than the others. And he looked at me and gave me a big smile. In one telepathy, Guruji gives me the full address of someone and tells me that someone is very sick. Since the address was of Delhi and I was in Chandigarh on that day, I asked Jo Aunty, a follower of Guruji in Delhi, to check out the address if it was valid. I told her about the signs I'd seen, like a railway track next to the house and a bit about the house. The next day, this is what she had to say. I went looking for the house and sure enough, the number was right. I tried to knock, but no one came out. Just as I was about to give up, a gentleman came to me and said, should I knock at the door for you? He knocked and the girl of 17, 18 years with her mother behind her opened the door. I made up a story to get some information. I told her that Mrs. Baba from Chandigarh has sent me. Are you Mrs. Grover? The girl immediately replied, Auntie, you have the names mixed up. My mother is Mrs. Baba and we have relatives in Chandigarh whose name is Mrs. Grover. I was shocked at the coincidence. Then I asked them if someone in the house was sick and she said yes, they had someone who was rather unwell. After Jo Aunty told me this, I decided to ask Guruji what was to be done next. We told Guruji that Jo Aunty had been to the house. So what are we to do next? Guruji replies, Bas, hun theek hai, ho gaya. Now it's all right. What we needed to be done is done. Maybe by sending a member of the Sangat, Guruji had actually sent blessings to the person who was unwell in that house. Guruji's way of working is beyond our understanding. In one of the many telepathies, Guruji shows me that I'm a small girl of 3 to 4 years. He is showing me my parents' wedding. He then tells me, you have to go into this family. Tu meri pyari beti hai, tu is parivar vich jana hai. I get up in the morning and describe the place where I see my parents getting married to my mother. She agreed that the place was exactly as I've described. I had a telepathy during the days when I didn't even know what line I would choose for my career. I always wanted to be a clinical psychologist, but just to test Guruji, I prayed to him to show me what I would become in the near future. That night, I see Guruji sitting amongst a little Sangat and I'm sitting besides him. I see a few of my classmates, and as they enter, Guruji predicts what each of them will become. One friend of mine who was always a third divisioner walks in and Guruji tells him he will be an executive officer in a big firm, and today he is working in one. In my dream, I was thinking that if a third divisioner can get a good job within Guruji, what about me? Guruji turns about me and writes something on my forehead with his finger. All I remember was the letter I and E were part of the word that he had written. Many years passed, and I would always wonder what Guruji had written on my forehead. Just recently, it struck me that I had become an interior and landscape designer, and both words interior as well as designer have the letters I and E. Guruji in his telepathies tells us a lot, not just about the immediate future, but about many things yet to happen down the years. He comes and even cures his Sangat through telepathy. I remember suffering from a very painful boil, and the doctor had asked me to come back the next day as she wanted to operate upon it. That night I prayed to Guruji and begged him to save me from the painful procedure. That night, Guruji in my telepathy comes and gives me a white paste to apply. Next morning, when I woke up, I realized I had no pain, and as I looked for my boil, I couldn't find it anywhere. By applying a paste in my telepathy, he cured me of a painful boil. What was more, there wasn't even a mark left that could suggest I had anything there. Another small satsang comes to mind, and it's somewhat related to his message and a telepathic connection. So again, maybe about 2.5, 3 years ago, when I was going through, my personal set of challenges, and I was in this mental dilemma of what to do, what not to do. And like I said, that apni taraf se, we all try to seek his guidance. And as we are reading these chapters, Sangaji, the one thing I want to call out is that never have that comparison that, oh, unko to wo dream mein aake jawab de diya, main to pooch rahi hu, mujhe to jawab nahi mil raha. Never ever do that, because you have your own connect with your guru. So never compare yourself to anybody else. So that said, I was probably in the biggest dilemma of my life. And randomly, I get a text, a WhatsApp text from a Sangat auntie. I think her name was Jyoti. I've never spoken to her before. I've never spoken to her after. And she said that with great difficulty, auntie, I've gotten your number. You don't know me, but I know of you. I also don't know you, but I know of you. And there is a message that I want to give you, because Guruji gave me this darshan. And in my dream, I saw Guruji and you, and I was asked to deliver this message to you. And she was like, it was very difficult because I was doing a search on Facebook and random, searches I was trying to do, but I couldn't, see your profile. You weren't coming up. And ultimately, after trying for 2-3 days, I told Guruji, aapne assignment di hai, aap hi pass karaoge. These are our exact words. So finally I got your contact, and here goes the dream. She said that I see that you are a teacher, you're sitting in a classroom and you're addressing some students, and then suddenly your phone beeps, and then you get a text message, you look at it, and you just shake your head and say कि लोग भी ना कैसी कैसी बातें बनाते हैं और कैसी कैसी बातें बोलते हैं, and आप वो मैसेज देखकर ये बोलकर अपना फोन नीचे रख देते हो. इतने में गुरुजी walks in and he says to that girl कि इन्नू कह दे कि जो कर रही है वो करी चले, लोका दी फिकर ना करे. She's like, this one sentence I wanted to relay to you. She's like, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what the significance of this message or this one line that Guruji has asked me to relay to you is in your life, what bearing this has. But, you know, I've done my job and I've completed my assignment. And I just looked at Guruji. I was like, oh my God, you know, before taking the step, the only thing I was worried about was log kya kahenge. And not that it changed, you know, you can't control anybody's thoughts or mouth, but just getting this reassurance from Guruji through, you know, a source that you don't even know. I took it as his blessing and his indication. And it's not that the Guruji would directly aake deliver nahi kar sakte the. But sometimes by going through someone else, he in fact even reinforces it stronger. Because अगर तुम्हें वो ख्याल आता तो तुम ये सोच सकते हो, oh, I was thinking about this now, and probably this is the answer I needed. So that's why I'm getting this response. But coming from a totally disconnected source, and I haven't been in touch with that person ever since, but this is how I got my response. So let's read ahead. Just before my grandfather was to fall ill, I had a telepathy where I am standing under a huge mountain, and all of a sudden the mountain starts to crumble and fall. I am looking up and I know that I'll get crushed under the debris. Just as I think this, I see a bright light and Guruji with his hands raised as if he were sending his blessings. None of the debris falls on me and I'm able to walk out of there unhurt. I woke up in the morning and could not decipher the telepathy. It's only after my grandfather passed away that I was able to understand the meaning of his telepathy. The mountain crumbling was an indication of the hard times that were to follow. My grandfather falling sick and passing away was nothing less than a mountain of sorrows breaking on our heads. And by giving me his darshans, he assured me that he would survive that we would survive the hard times with his blessings. There is no doubt that his telepathies are always true. Sometimes they may be very clear, and at times they may seem to have more symbolism involved. Every telepathy that you have has a meaning, even though at that time it may seem strange or meaningless to you. After Guruji's Mahasamadhi, my mother gets woken up by a strange light coming from an idol of Shiva that I kept in my room. Since the idol was made of a material that glows at night, my mother didn't think much of it and went off to sleep. At night, Guruji comes to her and tells her, Sukhmani Aunty, "A murti hun khatam ho chuki hai. Isnu mandir de aa te mera baal roop lekar aa. Sukhmani Aunty, this murti is now of no use. Go leave it at some temple and get my childhood form." In the morning, when she tells me about the telepathy, I understood why he said that the idol was of no use. While cleaning it, I had accidentally broken a part of the trishul. It is believed that one should not keep a broken idol at home, but I was so fond of it that I still hung on to it. The next day, we were looking for Shivji's photograph as a child and were unable to find it anywhere. Finally, we prayed to Guruji and left it to him. The next day, my mother went to buy some medicines, and at the shop next to him hung a beautiful picture of Shivji in his bal roop. We approached the owner and he very willingly gave it to us to make a copy of it. Jadon bhi tusi mainu dekhte ho, utkar 15 minute Om Namah Shivaya da jaap karya karo. हो सके ते समाधि लाया करो क्योंकि मैं उत्थे हुंदा हां. Okay, so what Guruji is essentially telling us is that whenever you see Maharaj in telepathy, get up and chant Om Namah Shivaya for 15 minutes, or if possible, meditate, because I am very much there. My grandfather's last days. This is a very long chapter. And let's try to finish this if possible. My grandfather's last days, a few months before my grandfather was to fall ill, Guruji started to give us hints. Sukhmani Aunty, your father is a saint. You must keep him happy. Take him out somewhere and all of you enjoy. Guruji often told my mother. We were sensing that something was probably going to happen to him and started spending more time with him. On 11th of May 2001, Guruji's mother was cremated at Dubri village. Yes, my parents had gone for that cremation too. After the cremation, Guruji told his family to feed my grandfather langar first. Give langar to Gil uncle first, he has to go, said Guruji. We didn't realize the meaning of his words, since according to us, Daddy, as I lovingly called my grandfather, had no plans of going anywhere else. After langar, we were the first ones to be given agya or permission to go, and as my grandfather bowed down before Guruji, he said, Gil uncle, full blessings. It's now time to go. I still didn't understand the meaning of Guruji's words until halfway to Chandigarh. My grandfather showed no signs of sickness. I want to interject here real quick. God, you know, Guruji की बातों में कितनी गहराई होती है, हम बिल्कुल नहीं समझ पाते और कई बार सालों साल लग जाते हैं समझने के लिए. The first time my dad ever approached Guruji about going to the US, and maybe I'm not even saying it properly. So when I was expecting, this news was broken to Guruji, and I was in Africa that time. I was in Ghana. So the plan was either ke go deliver the baby in the States, but States mein koi bhi nahi tha, meri family ka, and ya dusra plan tha ke go back to India because I did not want to deliver my baby in Africa. तो जब ये बताया गया था गुरुजी को कि आरती is expecting, तो गुरुजी said, जनरल साहब अमेरिका चलो और अमेरिका तो भी आगे जाना है. And आज I understand that when he very casually said, General Saab, America chalo, little did I know that my father is going to breathe his last in America, not in India. And this was said to him back in 2004, Sangaji. Oh my God. As soon as we reached Chandigarh, he had a major paralytic attack and his left side was paralyzed. I tried to ring up someone who I knew would be with Guruji, and at that time requested him to give the phone to Guruji. Guruji came online and said, I have given my full blessings. Don't worry, just take him to the hospital. We rushed to him. We rushed him to the government hospital in Sector 32, Chandigarh, with just rupees 4,000 in our possession. Since my mother and I were living with him, we never questioned him about any of his bank accounts, where he kept his money. As we reached the hospital, I saw we were not alone. Guruji had sent his Sangat to help us with the initial formalities at the hospital and for emotional support. The major issue that was bothering me and my mother was the money. how and where were we to get it? The next day, my mother's cousin came and handed her rupees 10,000, with the help of which my grandfather's treatment was started till my uncle, mother's brother, took over. My grandfather stayed in the hospital for 3 weeks with a break of 1.5 months where he was sent home. Your grandfather will come home just once, Guruji had told us much before time. In the first phase of his stay in the hospital, he was very conscious and would always be doing part. His eyes would be closed, but he could describe everything going on, not only at the hospital, but at home as well. One day, I rushed to the hospital without having my milk, and as soon as I opened the door to my grandfather's room, he said, "Today, you've not had your milk, you're hungry." My uncle would give me the money for the day for the medicines and tests at night. I would return him everything that was left. I could not, however, use that money on my mother or myself. My mother and I would leave at 8:30 in the morning and do our duty at the hospital till 8:30 at night. We would pack our lunch with us and eat it at the hospital. We had absolutely no money of our own and completely dependent on what my uncle gave us to run the house, which was not enough. Soon the kitchen became empty and all we were left were with a drum full of lentils that came from the farm. For 3 months, we had nothing but lentil and chapatis for lunch and dinner. I'm reminded of the times when my dad used to go for his chemo and immunotherapy later for a couple sessions. I think he did 3 and 4 of each. And I was there for one of the sessions, और उस time में गुरुजी की वो जुत्तीज ले गई थी यहाँ से जो गुरुजी ने खुद दी थी. And I took those those juttis to the hospital. And I still remember that day. Normally, hota tha that early morning we would check in, get dad registered, the treatment would go on, and end of day, Papa ko discharge milta tha. So I was just there for one of the sessions, and that day I went with dad and we took Guruji's maroon juttis जो गुरुजी ने मेरे को दी थी. और उस टाइम जब मैं गई, हम लोग सुबह गए and within 2.5 hours, like morning time में, dad को discharge मिल गया. He didn't feel anything. It was so quick. And he looked at me and he said, कि इन्होंने कीमो आज दिया भी है कि नहीं है? And I was like, नहीं पापा, सब हुआ है. The only difference was कि आज साक्षात गुरुजी की जुत्तीज आपके साथ आई है. And that's why everything that normally takes you the entire day wrapped up within 2.5 hours and you didn't feel a thing. And that was the very first time, Sangaji, when I flew back to the States, I was like, here, you keep these juttis because today you need them more than I do. And we only brought it back again when the entire family came back to the States. During the 12-hour stay at the hospital, I would sometimes feel hungry and there would be no money to eat anything. I rang up Guruji and told him of our situation and he said, "Je Rab rijak patthar vich baithe, कीड़े नु भी दिन है तो तेनू क्यों नहीं दऊगा? रब सारियां दा इंतजाम करता है. If God can provide food to the insects that live in the stones, why would he not provide for you? God looks after and provides for his each and every one of his creations." One day, I decided to change the purse I was carrying since it was too small. I had bought a purse from Bombay, now Mumbai, that I'd never used and decided to take that instead. It was a brand new purse with its paper stuffing still inside it. I removed the stuffing and transferred all my stuff into it. I saw it had an inner pocket and that was zipped closed. As I opened it, I was surprised to see that it was full of 5 rupee coins. At the hospital, whenever we got hungry, we would use that money to buy something from the canteen and eat. I noticed that no matter how much I took out from it, the pocket never got empty. This was Guruji's way of providing for us. The money in the purse never finished till the day my mother and I were financially stable. Yes, Guruji does look out for his Sangat. And I've shared this satsang also many times that back in 2011, for about 14 full months, we were going through a massive financial crisis to the extent that we did not even have a dime coming into our family. We were a family of 4, living in the States, driving the same cars. We did not have any health insurance back then because we couldn't afford it. And for 14 months, how the house kept going, we kept driving the same cars. And, business, life went on, like we say, BAU, which is business as usual. And I have no way to explain that in a foreign land, without getting even a dime, month after month for 14 months, how we sustained ourselves as a young family. That was Guruji's divine grace on us. Guruji's blessings and presence in the hospital room was not only felt by us, but also by the doctors, nurses, and many others who would just walk into the room, touch my grandfather's feet, and leave. There were times people would come and ask us as to what we are keeping, what we are using to keep the room so fragrant. It was Guruji's fragrance that kept coming off and on in the room. Same thing. So here, Dad was in the intensive care unit for 3 weeks. And we had this mantra jap, the chant, connected and playing 24/7. Every nurse, every doctor used to come and say that we have 29 rooms in the ICU and we need this chant for every room, because they all found it so soothing, and everybody would come and ask, what is this? My grandfather too would talk about Guruji visiting him and would often talk to him. And sure enough, Dad here, he would talk to the Jewish nurses and talk about Shiv and Guruji to anyone and everyone whenever he was, coherent. And it was amazing to see the passion he had in him while describing the Shiv Puran or Guruji to people who have no concept of what he was talking about. But I guess that was Guruji making him do that. I questioned Guruji about the strange happenings in the hospital room and the things my grandfather was talking about. Guruji told me, "Tenu ki pata us kamre vich ki kuch ho reha hai. Tere nana ji jo keh rahe hain sab sach hai. Main unhanu roz nasare dikha raha hoon. Main unhanu sab kuch dikha ditta. Unha ne inna kuch dekh liya कि हुन थल्ले आन दा उन्हां दा मन ही नहीं होवेगा." Oh my God. You don't know what all is going on in the room. What your grandfather is talking about is all true because I'm showing him what lies on the other side. I have shown him everything. He has seen so much that now he will not want to come back. That means he won't get better, I asked. "O bimar sirf tuade vaste ha. अपने बचे हुए कर्म खत्म कर रहे हैं. हुन मर के जन्म मरण विच नहीं आएंगे. तेरी ते तेरी मां दी सेवा लिखी है, हंस के कर लो." And this was the only paragraph I had randomly read couple months ago. I think it was a monthly anniversary. I don't remember what month, but it was 18th, and my dad left us on 18th May. So 18th तारीख थी, मैंने ऐसे ही किताब पढ़ी, and this was the only paragraph or the passage that I read. And what this says is that Guruji is telling Sukhmani Aunty about her Nana, that he is not sick. He is just clearing his debts and working out his karmas so that he won't ever come back into the cycle of birth and death. Guruji further added, he is in bed for the two of you, my mother and me. It is in your karmas to serve him and look after him, so do so with a smile. My grandfather soon showed signs of recovery, and the doctors were amazed at his progress. He continued to talk about seeing Guruji and sometimes seeing Guruji as Shivji. Whenever he was seeing things, his body language and voice would seem to change. I would run to him with a pen and paper and write down everything he said. These were the few things he would talk about. Guruji is light, and light is love. I see light of all colors. The light says, you are mine. Daddy, who is God? Can you see him? I asked. Yes, I see God. God is light. The light speaks to me. It says here, love is your guide. I see love and I see light, and light is reality. Daddy, will I see the light? I probed. Yes, you can see the light when you learn to love. Love even those who you dislike. Love your enemies and the light will love you. Will this light cure you or will it take you with it? I asked. Mujhe saath rakh legi. The light is here to take me and keep me with it. The light speaks to me. It says, I'm here. Light loves you and you love the light. The light says, you must come to me. When you love light, the light will love you. Daddy, who is Guruji? I asked him one day when he seemed to be seeing things. He is light. Guruji aaye hain, कहते हैं सब ठीक हो जाएगा. जो होगा ठीक होगा. जो होना चाहिए वही होगा. चिंता मत करो. Guruji has come. He is saying that whatever is happening for the good. Don't worry. Oh my God, I'm being forced to relive those 2.5 months where every single day, Sangatji, we were living with uncertainty, just seeing Dad and holding on to him tighter than ever. And we would see him have these random conversations, and I'm just reminded of those moments. A couple days before Dad was to leave us, I again got a random WhatsApp message from a number I don't even recognize. And all it said was that Guruji is saying, he's with you. Do not worry about General Kapur. Jo hoga, acha hoga. Daddy, how long will you be in the hospital? I asked. A short while, not very long. And I think the night before he left us, 17th May, I remember 17th May 2021 was a Monday. And we never wanted a dad to go intubated and on, life support system or ventilator. And so we all had that removed. And the doctors were thinking that it's just a matter of time कि जैसे ही वो ventilator निकलेगा, within minutes, he's going to go. 1 घंटा हुआ, 2 घंटे हुए, 10 घंटे हुए, 12 घंटे हुए, and Dad was still breathing. And the doctor came and said, oh my God, he's a fighter, he's very strong. And अंदर से मेरे को पता था that, मेरी जिद थी. मैं गुरुजी के आगे अंदर ही अंदर मन ही मन में जाप कर रही थी. पापा आपने नहीं जाना. और वो पूरा दिन और पूरी रात, that entire night, I stayed with my dad, holding his hand and I said, रात हो गई है and इस वक्त doctors भी नहीं है and they're all पिछले 12 घंटे से रट लगा के बैठे हैं that you're going to go. I'm alone with you, and it's the same Monday evening that we experienced. God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's the same Monday evening that we experienced almost 20 years ago, Papa. It was just you, me, and Guruji. आप पूरी रात मेरा साथ मत छोड़ के जाना. And I was so scared of leaving him alone कि मैं restroom भी नहीं जा रही थी कि अगर मैं जाऊंगी उठ के तो हो सकता है पीछे से पापा चले जाएं. The entire night, Dad stayed. Next morning, when my mother, sister, my family was there, 11:11 pe, we saw him breathe his last, and I saw this little silver si cheese, chutki jitni, just leave his body and go. Guruji is Shiv. He sometimes comes to me as Guruji and sometimes as Shiv. गुरुजी शिव जी हैं. मुझे कहते हैं कुछ देर की तकलीफ है, ठीक हो जाएगी. गुरुजी is Shiv. He's telling me that everything will be all right and this illness is only for a short time. And these were my dad's words also. सब ठीक हो जाएगा, मैं ठीक हो जाऊंगा. Why has Guruji come into this world? I asked. To look after his people and to cure him. He has a lot of power and can do anything. सचखंड में दिन रात पाठ चलता है. गुरुजी की कृपा से वहां बहुत आदमी हैं. In Suchkhand, which is the heaven, there are prayers going on at all time. It is very peaceful, and because of Guruji, there are a lot of people who have come here. गुरुजी मालिक हैं. सारी दुनिया आप चलाते हैं. जो चाहे कर सकते हैं. अगर अपनी असली पावर दिखा दे तो दुनिया पागल हो जाएगी. Guruji runs the entire universe himself. Whatever he wants can happen. He is very powerful, and if he showed his power to people in the world, they would go mad. Guruji आए हैं, कह रहे हैं सब ठीक हो जाएगा. तुम्हारे परिवार से मेरा पुराना संबंध है. मुझे इस घर में आकर बहुत अच्छा लगता है. Guruji has come. He is saying everything will be all right. I have an old relationship with you and your family. I love coming to you. Daddy, क्या संबंध है? Daddy, what relation do we have with Guruji? I probed. महापुरुष नहीं बता सकते. अपनी मर्जी से आते हैं. हम सबसे बहुत प्यार करते हैं. महापुरुष never tell. He comes and goes at will. He loves us all very much. Whenever I get a bit worried, Guruji comes to me and tells me not to worry. He has a strong light on his forehead. This human form that he has taken is only for you. He is pure light. He controls everything and has everything in his mind and hand. Many times he comes and sprinkles Amrit on me. Don't ask for anything. If you have to ask for Guruji. Guruji के मत्थे से bright light निकलती है. जिस चीज को हाथ लगा देती है, वो सफेद हो जाती है. There is a bright light coming from Guruji's forehead. Whatever he touches becomes white. Guruji has come. He is sitting on my bed, but is not saying anything. He's constantly looking at me. Guruji आए हैं. कहते हैं घबराना नहीं. मैं कहता हूँ मालिक आपके होते मैं क्यों घबराऊंगा. Guruji has come. He's saying not to worry. I reply that Guruji, with you, I don't need to worry. And I think that's the biggest way to console ourselves when we lose a loved one. Because ultimately, we hope that we will all reunite at Guruji's feet. तो जाना तो सबने मालिक के पास है. आज नहीं तो कल we will reunite. Guruji has come. He is telling you, my mother and me, to remain happy. Guruji is in the room. He is saying, be happy. Why are you not happy? I need your love. Guruji आए हैं, कहते हैं गिल अंकल जिथे तू पहुंच गया पहुंच नहीं. गिल अंकल जिथे तू पहुंच नहीं सी पहुंच गया. जहे जी मौज करदा सी करेगा. तेनू सब कुछ मिल गया है. होर की लेना है. इस तू ज्यादा होर कितने नहीं मिलना. गुरुजी दे बगैर लाइट नहीं है. Guruji is here again. He is telling me that he has given me everything. He is saying, Gil uncle, you have reached where you had to reach. What else do you want? There is nothing else beyond this. Without Guruji, there is no light. And like I said, that you have to let a soul go. And we all whispered in Papa's ears minutes before he was, he took his last breath, that Papa, we'll be okay, we'll be happy, and we'll take care of each other. Ye sunkar, he left, and his eyes moved. He acknowledged कि जो हम बोल रहे हैं वो सुन सकते हैं. And after that, I think he left with ease. Today, Guruji showed me Chitte Kapde Wali Duniya, a place where everyone is dressed in white and everything seems to be white. It is a very beautiful place. And Guruji Malik hai. Malik कहते हैं एक ही रब है और रब लाइट है. बाकी मालिक दा हुक्म नहीं है तुहानू होर दसना है. Guruji is the creator and he is telling me that there is only one God and God is light. Rest, I don't have the permission to tell you. Another confirmation, I'm reminded as I'm reading about the Chitte Kapde Wali Duniya. So on 30th May 2021, the 13th day, just then 13th thi, us then early morning, I get a call from Sukhmani Aunty. She's a Gurgaon ki Sangat or Delhi Sangat. And I've met her once here in New Jersey. And it's not that we speak at all. We don't speak. That's the only time she called me. And she said, I got a dream that General Kapur is standing in Bade Mandir. Everybody in the Bada Mandir is in white clothes. बहुत संगत है और पूरा जहां तक नजर जा रही है सब चिट्टे कपड़ों में है और जनरल कपूर भी चिट्टे कपड़ों में खड़े होकर सत्संग शेयर कर रहे हैं. She's like, I got this dream and I wanted to share with you. And I was, I had this slight beef in my heart with Guruji, जो हमारी मनी मन में ये चल रही थी कि गुरुजी आपने इतनी एक्सटेंशन दी. I'm extremely grateful क्योंकि मुझे पता है आपने कितना बोनस दिया. And हर टाइम जहां पर एक सामने दीवार खड़ी होती थी गुरुजी उसको निकाल देते थे और एक्सटेंशन और एक्सटेंशन और एक्सटेंशन मिलती जा रही थी. बट मेरे दिमाग में ये था कि एक बार पापा और सत्संग खड़े होकर कर लेते. That one thing that पापा खड़े होकर सत्संग करते. And this was in my mind and somebody else confirming to me from Delhi randomly on his 13वीं वाला दिन that मैंने जनरल कपूर को खड़े होकर चिट्टे कपड़े वाली दुनिया में सत्संग करते देखा. So this is how he validates that चिंता मत करो, I'm around. गुरुजी आए हैं, कहते हैं तुम भी, my mother and me, दुनिया में फंसे हुए हो और मांगते हो. Don't demand. जो मालिक देता है ले जाओ. Guruji is here and he's saying to me and my mother that we too are stuck in worldly desires and keep asking for more. Guruji is saying, don't demand whatever God gives you, just keep taking it. Malik कहता है, मांग ले जो चाहता है. मैंने कहा, मालिक जो तूने दिया वो ही ठीक, जो तूने नहीं दिया वो भी ठीक. तो मालिक ने कहा इसलिए नहीं दिया कि कहीं मुझे भूल ना जाओ. Guruji says, Daddy has started addressing Guruji as Malik. Ask me whatever you desire. So I said that whatever you have given me is good and whatever you haven't given me is good too. So Guruji replies, I never gave you everything because I didn't want you to forget God. So we are at time, so I am going to pause here. Ekta Aunty, is that okay?
Yes, Aunty. I think it would be a good idea.